Sunday night sound session with John Moore and DJ Hyphen on KUBE 93.
All right, y'all, right there, a track called Ends, Reflection Eternal, featuring Bilal and Talib. Like I was mentioning, you have a nice little outro there where you summarize the track up nicely, talking about how money is not the root of all evil, but it's actually the pursuit and the desire of money that is. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for the people?
Well, yeah, that's a phrase that's actually in the Bible, and I'm not very religious, but that's a phrase that's in the Bible that people get twisted. And what the Bible actually says is the pursuit and the love of money is the root of all evil, and people have sort of shortened it to money is the root of all evil. That's a dangerous thing to say for people who are disenfranchised and ain't got no money, to tell them money is the root of all evil. You should be out there trying to stack your paper. You should be out there trying to get your money.
But I really came up with the assumption of that myself too, like the last couple of years of my success, because I started to realize that on my own before I even read that in the Bible. I always knew the term was money is the root to all evil, but I started to say to myself, it's really like, I started to say success is the root to all evil, like, because people can assume you got money, and that's where you get a lot of karma from people assuming, and the way you carry yourself. Like, I could be the brokest dude in the world, but it's the way I carry myself would make people jealous of me, or, you know, or maybe cater to me in false intentions. You know what I mean? So I started coming up with that myself. Like, I started feeling it, because it's like, yo, we deserve royalty if you work hard for it. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to, you shouldn't lust for it, but at the same time, you should enjoy it.
Yeah, compensation is important. Definitely.
Which is very difficult in 2010 for content owners like yourselves, like guys who are making music, making content that goes out there on the net. I mean, we were talking a second off the air. You've got 150,000 Twitter followers that love your music, and they all downloaded the record, or half of them downloaded the record.
Yeah,
so it's like you guys sold, I mean, in terms of listenership, you have 200,000 first week. Like, it's nothing.
Exactly.
Like, probably more than that.
That eats me up in the inside, you know? I hate that, man.
And you guys are kind of coming into the game, or you guys have been involved in the game in a weird time where you saw the transition. So you were in here in the mid-90s and the late 90s where people actually bought music. Yeah. Like, I remember working at a record store for my first job in 2000, which is like when NSYNC was around, and like they sold 1 million copies in a day.
And that's when our album dropped.
Yep.
NSYNC, O-Town, Eminem, Britney Spears,
yeah, so back
Jessica Simpson, Christina
bought
Aguilera.
albums. People would go to the mall and they would buy a CD on Tuesday. It cost you either $13.99, $14.99, $15, whatever, all the way up. But we actually bought those. And then right after that, there was this switch where all these consumers from 20 to 35 were like, wait, music's free now?
Right, I had a dude hit me online saying, you know, I'm not gonna buy your album because I downloaded it already.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, so I just retweeted what he said, and I didn't get at him about it. I just retweeted.
No, he said, why buy the album if I could get it for free?
That's what he said. So I retweeted it, not for me to get at, but just to start the discussion.
Yeah.
And people want to explain to him why. And man, he was just so arrogant about it. I went to his timeline later. He's like, whatever. He's like, his response to people saying he shouldn't do that was he sent a link of our album to everyone who hit him. Like, sent the link to download the album for free. Sent it to me. Sent it to everybody. And then he said, and then after people kept hitting him like, yo, dude, you're a jerk. He's like, yo, for real? Y'all really care? This is what he actually said. You really care that this guy makes money? Or do you just want the CD? He couldn't believe it. He couldn't understand why people was like, he's like, y'all really care about this dude's pockets like that?
It's this weird thing because people look at you guys like you're not real people. So when I was a kid, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I went to college in 2000, Train of Thought dropped, you know, the Black Star album had come out, and I'm like, yeah, these people don't really exist. Like, these are artists that I listen to.
Right.
I'll never see them in my daily life.
Right.
And then sure enough, I end up getting into music and radio, and we've had the opportunity to chop it up a couple times, and it changes. So then it becomes like, wow, I actually can see where they're coming from. Like, this is their craft.
It changes for me too. When in terms of my subject matter, what I'm talking about, when I'm outside of the industry and looking in, you can have a lot to say about why somebody should make a type of record or why they're making this type of record. But when you come into business and these people are your peers, an artist from down south is your peer now, an artist who's making commercial records is your peer, and you run into them in the club or in the street or in the hallways of your record company, and they come to you and say, man, I like what you're doing, I like your music. What, I'm gonna still be mad at them for doing what they do? No, it's my peer. I gotta support what he's doing. I gotta support that expression just like he support my expression.
Yeah. It's an interesting discussion. We could talk obviously more about that, but let's get into the last record on the album. This is My Life, one of the best outro tracks I think I've ever heard right here. Reflection Eternal, the new album, Revolutions Per Minute, in stores now. Like we just talked about, if you like it, if you like what you're hearing tonight, go support it. That's what you need to do in 2010. Let's go. Sunday Night Sound Session. Turn this up.
Or else you gonna see me on the corner beating on the bucket.
We gonna come to your house like Jay and Silent Bob.
All right. Right there, the outro to the album Revolutions Per Minute by Reflection Eternal. It's called My Life. What made you want to end the record on kind of a autobiographical tone?
Many of those rhymes I had written to another beat by my man Che, who works for Dr. Dre. And the beat was a sort of a piano type of sound. It was the same tempo as the Hi-Tek track. We recorded that last. I think we'd been looking for an outro for some time. And when he sent that beat, it felt like I should be talking about something personal. But when I wrote to the Che track, I wrote it just about me, and now I'm writing for a group situation. So I tried to change the rhyme to fit so it makes sense for me and Hi-Tek, but it just wasn't working. The third person narrative really worked a lot better. So I just took a chance. I didn't want Hi-Tek to be offended when I sent it, like, this is a Reflection Eternal album. Like, what you mean, My Life? Like, you know,
but the track, subliminally, I'm singing my life in the back. You can hear me saying my life. So that's really, you know, at the end of the day, like, I really love the way it came off, though. When I heard it, I was like, yo, I gotta keep this.
That's kind of an interesting concept. I know as a DJ myself, like, I feel like I talk through the records I pick. Like, they kind of speak on my behalf, and that's why I pick the music that I pick. It expresses something, you know, that maybe I'm feeling, and I'll play that. So as a producer, when you make a beat, even if there's not necessarily even vocals in it, it's still an expression of, like, an idea, a feeling, a concept, whatever, and I think it shines through on this record.
And I think it's a great, like, setup record for Kwa, it reminds me of a setup record for him to break out of that Pandora box, you know what I mean, that people try to put him in or myself in. Like, it really, like, yo, y'all wanted this Reflection Eternal album. Here's the Reflection Eternal album. It's done, it's complete, but this is me, and this is, you know, where I'm going next. So be prepared, because it's only just begun.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect thing. I was going to ask about that. Where does this lead you into the next project? I mean, I assume, you know, you guys have made a big point in interviews over the years that, like, just because you haven't put out an album in 10 years doesn't mean you guys haven't been working together. You guys have done numerous records, Reflection Eternal records, over the past 10 years. So I assume the same thing will happen. You know, you guys go back to doing some solo stuff, come together for joints here and there, and maybe another album in a couple of years or whatever it might be. But where does this lead you guys personally as the next step in your careers?
Right now, it's hard to see anything but this with us being on tour and the album release. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about the names for the next album and trying to knock it out quick. This album was a great creative experience for both of us.
Yeah, I think we could get it done. I feel like it's a lesson to be learned from all the experiences we had from the 10 years. Even though we were working together, I think it's a lesson to be learned as far as just really keep feeding the people. You know, really feeding the people with projects, important projects, not just anything. Like, I don't really like doing mixtapes. I don't believe in telling people, here's my B material and this is my A material, but don't take my B material so serious, because the A material, you know, this is the thing. You know, I don't believe in that. I believe in giving people quality all the time. So I would love to do another album or project, or just different projects. You know what I mean? Like, it don't have to be a Reflection Eternal. It don't have to be called Reflection Eternal. It could be like how Gnarls Barkley did it. Look how long it took CeeLo to really get his due shine. You know, he's worked with the best of them, but until he really did the Gnarls Barkley project, a real conceptual, well-produced record, that's when he really got that shine that he was looking for. You know, so I believe in conceptual projects. I can't wait to get into another.
Yeah, well, this one's a good one. Yeah. Revolutions Per Minute. It's in stores, like we mentioned. Everyone out there should go cop it. Where can they catch you guys online? What's the best place?
Best place for me online is yearoftheblacksmith.com. Of course, for a more direct, I'm at Twitter on Real Talib Kweli, but, you know, my community is Year of the Blacksmith.
Yeah, no doubt. We got to shout out Tunji too, because
I
know
shout out to
the
Tunji,
site,
man,
with the Year of the Blacksmith site. So big shout out to Tunji. Tech, where can they catch you online?
Check me out at you can check us both out on reflectioneternal.com. And you can also check me out at Hi-Tekzilla, HITEKZILLA on Twitter.
There it is. Any final words for the people out here in Seattle and worldwide?
Shout out to Jake One. Shout out
Yep.
to Vitamin. Shout out to Jonathan. You know,
Yep.
shout out to all the big producers doing their thing. And I love the beats out here, man. Y'all got something in the water. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of dope.
Yeah,
beats
man,
coming up out here.
and the hip hop community always comes out to the Showbox, supports us. So, you know, shout out to them too.
Yeah, this is probably the 70th show you've had at the Showbox, I
Yeah.
think. Nice. All right, there it is. Reflection Eternal. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We really appreciate it. Sunday night sound session. DJ Hyphen and Jay Moore. We're out for this week.
Sunday night sound session with John Moore and DJ Hyphen on KUBE 93.